Peace everyone, Unmask here, and welcome to a very unique live stream experience. So for the entire month of May, I'm going to be doing my self-portrait, and as you can see, I have the line art here. What I'm going to be doing today, though, is just doing the transfer process. I have an entire month to draw this, so I am in no rush whatsoever. I am excited to be back live streaming on YouTube again so that I can hang out with all of you lovely people. It's always a pleasure and I enjoy it a lot. I haven't done the drawing journal in several weeks now, but yeah, that's going to change as I'm going to be doing this every day. I'm also going to be doing the Patreon live streams, so on Tuesdays and Thursdays I'll stream twice. But I figured, I was going to transfer the line art before the live stream, but I figured, I've talked a lot about how I do it, so I figured why not just show everybody. I don't think I've ever shown this on camera before. I mean, it's nothing special, and I've described it in perfect detail before, but let's just go over it, I guess. But before I do that, let me just say hello to everyone. It's been a while since I've got to say hello. Hello, Debbie, Wendy, Angel, Barbara, Sneaks, Lily. Good to see all of you. Very happy to see you. Oh, hey, Cece. Hope the dentist goes well. And Blackout, good to see you. Safe for what? Oh, hey there, Kenny. Faye, Amy, Sue. Awesome to see you. Thank you guys so much for coming by. So the line art here, I used just regular cheap old printer paper. Nothing special about this paper here. I just used some tape to tape two pieces together because my drawing was too big for just one piece. And once I have the line art traced down on this cheap paper, I just scribble graphite on the back. And then that gives me the flexibility to put it wherever I want it. The paper that I am using is, of course, my favorite paper, which is the Strathmore Bristol plate paper. And so I'm just going to kind of figure out where I want this to be, kind of keeping it as centered as possible. And then I'm just going to tape it down with this tape. And I have a bit of excess down here that I'm just going to cut with scissors so that I can tape it to the paper. And yeah, I'll just start retracing the line art here so that it transfers over to my good paper. Was I on vacation or just taking a break from YouTube? I was just taking a break from YouTube. Sometimes it can get, I don't know, I don't want to say overwhelming, because I don't think that's the right word. Sometimes it just gets stale, I guess. And really, I was doing a lot. I was still doing the Patreon streams each week. For those of you that are on Patreon know that. But I didn't have any space in my schedule to come up with something new to draw for the drawing journal, which made it difficult to come up with an idea for the drawing journal. So it was like, well, I don't have an idea right now to do anything, and I don't have anything to work on, so I guess I just won't do a drawing journal. And so I just decided, you know what, I don't want to force it. I don't want to force a live stream out of me just for the sake of doing it, because I probably wouldn't be too exciting to watch, I guess. I don't know. But I was working on a tutorial that you guys probably saw. I posted that yesterday, and that was for Color Pencil Magazine. And that was a fun little tutorial to make. It took a little bit longer. I wanted it to be, really well done, and so I took maybe 3 days just writing the script up and kind of getting everything put together, and then I spent about a day editing it, and then once I had that finished, I went ahead and uploaded it, and I wish it was just as easy as uploading a video to YouTube, but when you're trying to when you do it as a business, well, when you do it as a living, I guess, you have to take into consideration you know, all of the aspects to make the video perform well, and that's not the most exciting thing about YouTube. Doing the titling and the description and all of that stuff. It's the least fun aspect of YouTube because you want the video to do well, since that's the purpose of it. But at the same time, it's my least favorite thing to do. Oh, hey there, Chrissy. Goodness, you are up late. What are you doing? I kind of felt bad because I knew that you were streaming today. Sorry I didn't catch your stream. Or if you did stream today, didn't you? Maybe I'm mistaken. I'm pretty sure you streamed today. But yeah, I thought for sure that you were going to be asleep on my stream. And I kind of felt bad since it was going to be day one. I want to make sure that my lines are showing up. Yeah, okay. When you do this back tracing, you usually want to use a pretty firm pressure on your pencil. That way the graphite transfers really well. But you don't want to use such a firm amount of pressure that it actually indents on the paper that you're working on. So you have to find that middle ground there. Sometimes I use a ballpoint pen, but I wanted to get these lines a little bit cleaner. So I'm using my Graph Gear pencil. Tomorrow we'll start coloring, and right after I finish today's stream, I'll schedule out tomorrow. I'm streaming. I'll be doing 2 streams tomorrow. One of this and then one for Patreon. And we're actually working on a really cool project over on Patreon right now, the Colored Pencil Project. We're working on this ballet dancer. And I still have this leg to do, obviously. I have to put hair on her. But I've been having a lot of fun with this Colored Pencil Project over on Patreon. So I'll be continuing, possibly even finishing that tomorrow. And so that means tomorrow's stream for the portrait is going to be in my morning. I haven't yet really decided on the exact time, but I'm thinking probably 9 o'clock my time. That's what I'm considering. I swear your voice has such a tooth. I could listen, you reading from a phone book and wouldn't get bored. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoy listening to it. But I would get bored reading from a phone book. It's funny that you bring that up. It's a common thing. I get a lot of compliments on my voice. So many people comment on my videos, especially the longer tutorials and the live streams that I've done. People say that they listen to me to fall asleep, or that it's just soothing, or whatever it is. And it's really gotten me super close to starting a second channel where I literally just read things to people. I don't know if it will ever happen. Probably not while I'm living in this flat, but maybe in the distant future, when I have a proper studio and workspace. Because right now, it's still kind of driving me crazy, my work area here, because I don't have like a dedicated workspace for doing video editing and then also doing artwork. It all happens in the same location, and it means like when I do the live streams, when I make videos, I have to set everything up, and then when I'm done, I have to put everything away, and then I can work on it. And then sometimes I realize, oh, I forgot to get this video clip, so I have to set everything back up again, and then I get, a 4-second clip, and then I put everything back away and go back to work. It's kind of obnoxious, but I deal with it. It works, but it's not the most efficient, and I am all about efficiency. But maybe in the future, when I have like a dedicated workspace set aside so that I could just sit there and like read something while recording my voice and then just quickly edit it, upload it, I could make like several videos a day doing that. Just live streams where I read books to you. Oh, you're welcome, Lily. Oh, hey there, Stephanie. Yeah, it has been a little while since I streamed. I haven't forgotten how to do it, though. I'm gonna try to get all this stuff done before I go up to my face. I've mentioned a few times that I was going to do daily streams in May. I'm sure several of you remember me talking about it, but of course I've pretty much been offline for the past like month, it feels like. And I haven't talked about it in a while, so you may have forgotten about it. But I figured I could talk a little bit about why I'm doing it. I've done one other self-portrait, and I have a time-lapse video of it. It's one of my most proud video creations. It was something that I spent a lot of time on, and it was very personal to me. It meant a lot to me. And, maybe there's a few of you that could just do a self-portrait and not really think much of it. But for some reason, for me, I have like not necessarily a phobia of doing a self-portrait, but I'm just very, very hesitant to doing a self-portrait. Because, I could draw any person in the world, and even people that I care about, and it would just be a portrait to me. But for some reason, there's just something about doing a self-portrait that I have a difficult time doing, and I can't even really find the words to explain the way that it makes me feel to do or consider doing a self-portrait. And so deciding to do one is rather difficult for me, and I'm not entirely sure why, but it always feels like when I well, I can't really say when it always feels like, because I've only ever done one other self-portrait. But it took a lot for me to like work myself up to be able to do the self-portrait. And it's complicated for me to figure out what I want myself to look like. And for instance, like the expression and just there's so much about it. It seems odd, and I don't know if anybody else feels like this, if they've ever done a self-portrait, or you struggle with the same thing when it comes to doing a self-portrait. But for me, it's not easy, and I don't really know why. Maybe you guys could give me some insight. Yeah, well, I guess weird is, Chrissy, I guess weird is certainly a feeling that comes across a little bit. Um, it seems a little, it seems a little wrong to say this, because it's almost oxymoronic to refer to yourself as being a humble person, because to claim that you are humble almost in itself is bragging. But I think that I think I'm justified in describing myself as humble, because enough people have described me as being humble. So I think I can say it without coming across as though I'm bragging. And I don't know, something about doing a self-portrait feels a little egotistical, I guess, because you want to portray yourself like as an artist. I always, when I do a portrait of anybody else, I'm always trying to portray them as the the best version that I imagine them to be. And doing that for myself, I guess it forces you to reflect on whether or not you are the best version of yourself. And yeah, I don't know. I have an aversion to self-portraits for sure. I've made a lot of other people's portraits, but I feel shy looking at myself that much. Yeah, that's another feeling. Insecure? No, I'm not insecure. I don't think I'm insecure at all. I feel quite confident in who I am. I think there's a distinction between being shy or introverted and being insecure. I don't think those things are directly correlated, and I think you can be shy and introverted without being insecure. And I would say that the trouble that I have with self-portrait, I don't think it stems from insecurity. I mean, I could be wrong. I could just be in denial there, but I don't feel worse live streaming and expressing myself openly to what in the beginning was just a group of strangers. What are some tips on starting a YouTube art channel? How long did it take you to notice an increase in your subscribers? And is there things you have noticed that have helped build that? There's a lot. There is a lot there. Yeah, that is a lot to go over. I've been doing this for 6 years now. Well, coming up on 6 years. I started my channel in 2013, and I've gone through a lot of different phases on my channel before I settled in to becoming mostly a live stream channel. I started out just doing time lapses, and I feel like I don't know, didn't get bored with doing time lapses, but I felt like the popularity level required as people. I I don't draw famous people because I think they already receive more attention than they deserve, and I've never wanted to piggyback off of the popularity of somebody else. And so I've always just drawn whatever I wanted to and whatever I felt was challenging. If you're starting a YouTube channel, I would say there's two routes you could go. You could go the route where you are 100% authentic, which is the route that I've taken. I've never done something that I didn't stand behind. And then you could go the route where you create kind of an alternate personality. I barely have one personality in the first place, so creating a new one wasn't really an option for me, so I just went the authentic route. Yeah, I don't know. There's too much. There's just too much information on what you could do. I would say the best advice is probably to narrow it down, find your niche. If you want to do drawing, then stick to drawing. If you want to do painting, stick to painting, because that's going to allow you to pinpoint your audience and then draw in that audience, and you'll stay away from the more broad audience. You'll still pull in people that draw, like if you're doing a painting channel, you'll still draw in people that draw and maybe do digital art and stuff like that, because they'll like your personality and your maybe the sound of your voice. But I would just say keep it simple and try to focus on one thing and build your audience that way. That I think that's something that was the hardest for me to learn, because I like to do everything, and I still kind of stray away and do a bunch of random stuff, like sculpting with polymer clay on the live stream, which I will never do again. Have I watched Avengers Endgame yet? Yes, I have. It was fantastic. I was very pleased with the. I was very pleased with the way that they did the movie. There was certainly a lot of expectations in that movie, and I think that they stayed true to the characters that you care about, and it was a really good movie. It was far from perfect. And there was certain certain things about it that I really hated that they did. I thought it was really stupid that they even brought in Captain Marvel. I feel like it was entirely a waste of time to even have her show up in that movie, which isn't a spoiler, obviously. And I won't say any spoilers because I know that if I came across a spoiler of either Endgame or Game of Thrones, I would be throwing hands because, yeah, those nasty spoilers just ruin everything. But yeah, we watched it spur of the moment. Believe it or not, we watched it Saturday. Was it Saturday? Or maybe it was Friday. It was Friday night that we watched it last week, and we were in the city center, and I was like, let's go to Libero, which is this new mall that they put in just down the road. But we don't ever go to that mall because it's kind of lame in comparison to the one in the city center. And so I was like, we never went to the movie theater in the new mall. Let's go see what times they're playing Endgame and if there's any available seats. And they shockingly, I don't know how it's possible. Maybe because it was super late. We didn't get out of the movie theater until like one in the morning. But there was only like 10 people in the entire theater watching the movie Friday night. I mean, I also have the benefit of the fact that a majority of people probably want to see the movie with dubbing, maybe. I don't know, but we of course always watch movies in English with Polish subtitles in the movie theaters, so I have that benefit of maybe it's a less of a crowd because the movie is in English. But yeah, it was a really good movie. It's really hard. Episode 3 of Game of Thrones season 8, man, they kind of stole the show between Endgame and Game of Thrones. I was like, I don't know if I can choose a winner between the two. I just wish that episode 3 was 2 more hours long. Gosh, it was so good. It was so good. If you liked the battle at the end of Endgame, then you would love the Game of Thrones season 8 episode 3 because it was essentially the same length. You can ask the dentist to put me on the TV. That would be kind of cool. The last time I went to the dentist, uh, they had they had a movable TV that was like on the chair, and you could move it right in front of you, and you could watch movies, you could watch TV shows, and whatever you wanted while they're working on your mouth. Because I was there for a while. Last time I went, I had a whole bunch of stuff that I had them do. Oh, I don't know. Um, I don't know if you left, Lily, but I haven't done any spoilers for Endgame, and I would hope that those of you in the chat those of you in the chat that have watched the movies, please don't put any spoilers in the chat either. I'm not going to spoil anything at all. I would never do that. I would be furious. I would be furious if it happened to me. And I think that it's still an acceptable time frame to not discuss spoilers. Yeah, the movie's been out for a week, right? I think it was last Wednesday it was released, if I'm not mistaken. Not entirely sure, but I think so. Well, so what else is new? Another thing that I had talked about, and for those of you that are friends with me on Facebook know this, but aside from all streaming every day for the month of May, my wife and I are also making a few minor adjustments to our diet for the month of May, and goodness, if everything goes as well as today has gone so far, it might even go beyond the scope of just May. But we decided to, well, actually I decided, and then I kind of forced her to do it with me, if I'm being completely honest, to do no processed food whatsoever for the entire month of May, and all of our food has to be 100% whole food. So no sugar, no oil, and no processed food. We're still allowed to use like salt and pepper and other, spices, because those are just, herbs and whatnot. So still whole foods. And for breakfast this morning, I had a red banana, a yellow banana, a grapefruit, and maybe a cup of almonds or walnuts. About a cup of walnuts, half a cup maybe. That was my breakfast. And it was the first time I ever had a red banana. They're they're shorter. I don't know if you've ever seen them. They're shorter. They're only about this long, and they're a little bit flatter. And I had no idea whether or not it was even ripe. I don't know what a red banana is even supposed to look like, because a couple weeks ago I had a plantain for the first time, and I had never had a plantain. Bought it from the store, and it was yellow. It was a yellow plantain, and I literally Googled how to eat a plantain because I was like, I don't know what to do with this. It was really hard, and I was like, this doesn't seem like it's ripe, even though it's a nice yellow color with some black spots. And so I Googled how to eat a plantain, and ended up frying it. Yeah, fried the plantain. It was okay. It was kind of bitter because it was yellow, and apparently plantains, they're not ripe until they're completely black, and that's when they're actually sweet. And when they're yellow, you can't even eat them raw. Well, you could, but you probably wouldn't really enjoy it because they're rather tough. You've never seen a red banana? I don't know if I've ever seen a red banana either. I don't know. Um, we went grocery shopping Monday. Was it Monday? Maybe it was Tuesday. Yeah, it was Tuesday. Is today Wednesday? Today is Wednesday, so it was yesterday. Was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday. But for the last week or whatever, we've just been eating the scraps in our cupboards. And before we went grocery shopping, like our refrigerator was like completely empty. We had like some ketchup and mustard in the refrigerator, and I don't know, clove of garlic or something. And then that's pretty much it. We essentially didn't have any food left in the house. And for the past week or whatever, my wife has been asking me, what are we going to eat? And for May, like, I want something tasty, is what she would keep saying. And I'm like, I don't know. We're just going to go to the store and buy, fruits and veggies, and we'll figure it out from there. So, really had no idea what what to get while we were at the store, and essentially we just walked down the produce aisle, and I grabbed peaches and plums and apples and potatoes and onions and bell peppers and essentially every fruit and vegetable that they had. And I saw the red bananas, and I was like, I don't know what this is, but I'm gonna take one. And yeah, it was quite similar to just the normal yellow bananas that most of you are probably familiar with, but it was a bit sweeter, and for some reason it had it to me anyways. I don't know if this is a thing, but to me it actually had somewhat of a vanilla like flavor to it. So it was like just like a yellow banana, but a tiny bit sweeter and vanilla-y. So it was a really good banana. Oh, thank you so much, Chrissy, for the super chat. Thank you for being so supportive and bring us all together in the Unmask Art family. Oh, you are so welcome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I really appreciate the super chat. And again, I apologize. I've been missing your streams. I gotta keep on your stream schedule and make sure that I make the next one. But yeah, that's red bananas. I don't know if I've ever seen them in the United States. I don't ever recall seeing them, uh, even out west and when I lived in Seattle. Uh, I don't recall seeing red bananas. They're like a dark maroon red. I should just go grab one and show you guys, but yeah, that's what I had for breakfast anyway. Um, and then I don't know, maybe I had some pistachios throughout the day. The thing with being on like the whole food, the whole food type of diet where you're eating just natural foods is that you can't really break your day up into just three meals. You can't really have like just a breakfast, just a lunch, and just a dinner, and then be fine, because you have to make sure that you're getting enough calories throughout the day, and of course you have to make sure you're getting all your proper nutrients. So you have to have a really good variety of foods. Leafy greens and other vegetables are really good. Fruits, and then nuts and seeds are really good to get your amino acids and things like that. Sorry, not trying to turn into a nutritional live stream, but just just stressing the importance, because if I influence anybody to you know change their diet in any way, just know that there's more to it than just turning away from the foods that you're eating. But with a whole food diet, you have to eat throughout the day, and so just kind of munching on pistachios and walnuts throughout the day. I had an apple. Anna and I took a walk before the stream, and I had an apple, and then I had, for kind of a lunch snack thingy, I water fried some onions and mushrooms. And to do that, you essentially just like use like a really thin layer of water and cook the veggies like you would if it were oil. And then once the water evaporates and the veggies are nice and soft, you just kind of let it burn to the pan a little bit. But I use a stove skillet so nothing sticks to it, so I can just throw them on there raw and cook it without them sticking to anything, which is nice. Oh, thanks, Cece, for the super chat. You had the dentist put me up on the video. Well then, can they hear me? Can the dentist hear me right now? Take care of my sister if you can. If you can hear me, I mean. Would love to hear your reasoning for creating a new self-portrait. That's a good question, Cece. That's a good question. We always we always get in some of the weirdest conversations on the live streams when I'm just totally relaxed, and it's great. I love these conversations. These are the kind of conversations that when you meet somebody for the first time, that you end up talking like through the entire night, and you just feel really connected to them. And I love the streams where we just go from like one topic to the next topic. I mean, we went from Avengers Endgame / Game of Thrones to Red Bananas to all kinds of just random stuff, and it's great. So the reason for me to do a self-portrait, when I did my first self-portrait, it was actually right around this time, maybe within a month or so. I don't know the exact date, but I know it was like kind of springtime or something, because I was still in class. Yeah, it had to have been around this time. I could always check because I have the video on YouTube. One of you could check and then tell me. But I felt like it was time to define myself a little bit. I feel like that's what it feels like to me when I do a self-portrait. It feels like I feels like I'm kind of defining myself, or taking a snap shot of who I am in the moment. Not the same way as it is when you take a picture, because pictures feel very impersonal. You just click a button. But when I did my first one, it was kind of like a defining chapter in my life. I suppose it felt like it was time to do one. And that's the kind of the same way I feel about this one. is it just feels like it's time to do one. I feel like I've kind of grown to a different stage of myself, and I want to kind of capture who I see myself as right now. And you'll notice, like with my last self-portrait and this one, certainly there's things that have changed about composition, color choices, and even my facial expression and things like that. When I did that first self-portrait, you know, there was a lot going on in my life at that time, a lot of really difficult things, and perhaps I would attribute the choice of photo, the choice of colors, the choice of the facial expression, the lighting and composition of that first self-portrait. I would contribute the almost unconscious choices of that to reflect what I felt like or who I was in that time frame in which I drew it. And of course, it also captures the skill level I was at inevitably during that time. And I feel like, you know, my artwork has grown a lot, very fast, in my opinion, over the past 2 years. And I've developed kind of, I don't know, just I feel like I've gotten further, and it just feels like the right time. Maybe it's springtime that is bringing out the desire for another self-portrait. It's really hard to put it into words, to be honest with you. It's just not something that I can really articulate. It's like trying to describe the taste of a food when you've never tasted anything else. Did I freehand the line art for this? No, I did not. No, I did not freehand the line art for this. I was in quite a bit of a rush to even prepare for this month to do the live stream. I was, you know, since I haven't really been online much the past few weeks, in particular like the drawing journal and stuff, I actually took this photo yesterday. I took this photo yesterday, and I had to take a lot of photos for me to be satisfied with this particular one. And then, of course, I had to set up the live stream and make the thumbnail and just get everything set up and allow me to be ready to do that. That's kind of why I slowed down a little bit and decided, you know what, I'm just going to do the line art transfer today instead of coloring, because I don't even have, like, I haven't looked over the colors. I haven't collected my pencils to prepare in any way whatsoever. So it's just been, it's just been like one hectic thing after another. So I just wanted to slow down on it because I have the whole month, and this is, I'm working on 14 by 17 piece of paper here. So it's not the largest piece of paper that I have in my drawer. Or actually, no, this is 11 by 14. Pretty sure. Yeah. So yeah, this is only 11 by 14, but I'm doing a background. Nothing detailed, but yeah, I just wanted to do this for today. And so I have have the whole month, and I'm just going to take my time, because I think that even that reflects a little bit on this particular project. Taking my time. Whereas, when I done my first self-portrait, I did it in a day. And a lot of the projects that I do anymore, I spend more time on. Even when I really started to focus doing YouTube full time, I felt this overwhelming pressure to just like pump out content so that I could remain relevant. But here, I haven't live streamed on YouTube in like 3 or 4 weeks now, and I come back, now, and all of you, there's probably a great deal of you here, yeah, so about 50 or so. So I had this misconception in the beginning that when I started doing this for a living, that I had to just pump out tons of content to remain relevant, when it's not the case. Because if I was if I just make the stuff that you guys enjoy, you'll wait for it, just the same way everybody waited for Game of Thrones to finally come back after 2 years. Man, can't believe we waited that long, but it was so worth it. So if Game of Thrones can take 2 years off, I can take 4 weeks and still remain relevant. And I guess I've really enjoyed doing the daily streams, like for Inktober and stuff like that. So it's nice to just kind of do this as a daily thing and take my time with it. I'm almost finished here. Once I finish this, these last few lines, then I will be done for the day. Oh, just about 50 minutes of streaming so far, so not too bad. I anticipated going a couple hours. That's another thing with these daily streams. I have no idea how long they're going to be. Today will be about an hour, and then tomorrow could be several hours. Although tomorrow probably won't be several hours because I have to do 2 streams tomorrow. But the weekend streams, I mean, I know you guys have experienced my epic long streams. I think my longest one today was 7.5 or so hours. 7 hours for sure. And that was when was that one? That was the dime, actually. Yeah. Some of you don't even know that stream because I made it unlisted after it went live, to protect the sales of the magazine, for Colored Pencil magazine, since it was a project for them. Yeah, well, when you do Inktober, regardless of the medium that you use to participate in the daily challenge of just making something, it's really beneficial. It's really beneficial to just, get that consistency of creating something every day. I look forward to Inktober as well, and really, really break in my Copic markers. I was actually considering using Copic markers on this portrait, doing some of the base layers, especially the background in the Copic markers, and then doing colored pencils over top. But I think I'm just gonna stick true to colored pencils. So I'll just do the colored pencils purely. Oh, you're Cece. You're talking about the. I know what banana video you're talking about. Um, the cure to artist block. That's what you're talking about. Yeah, yeah. I should. I almost did an update of it. I really should. I should update that and redo it, like reshoot it, like word for word, shot for shot. Now that I have better camera equipment and better editing skills and all of that, yeah, I might just have to redo it. I've come up with a couple other ideas that kind of follows that same infomercial type thing. Uh, now that I'm thinking about it, you got me laughing. Um, and I've written like one or two scripts, but then I scrapped the idea. And there's this other one that I've been thinking about. It would literally be like maybe an 8-second video, something really super short. But I've been wanting to do it. I've been wanting to do it so much. I just haven't committed to the idea, because it's a meme. There's this meme. There's a Yoshi Island meme, and it's so simple. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. But it makes me laugh every time, and I can't help it. Because it's it's the Yoshi Island like theme song or something like that, and they turn the song. There's like this one high note in the song that like lingers, and they always put it in sync to a video where somebody is like screaming or yelling. And so when the high note comes on, it just shows like the person in the video like screaming or something, and it's just so dumb. I can't explain how dumb it is, but it just makes me laugh every time. And I've been wanting to use it to just make a short kind of dumb video. But like I said, I haven't committed to it, and this is the first time that I've ever verbally expressed this idea to anybody. Um, I doubt I'll do it, but it's something that I've been wanting to do because it's funny. It's funny, but it's also dumb. Do I wear my wedding ring on the right hand? The right hand, both the right hand and the right hand. So right as in my right hand, and right as in the correct hand. In Europe, they wear the wedding band on the right hand. Almost done. Just a few little lines. Gotta be real careful with the teeth. If I get my teeth wrong, then it's not gonna look like me. It'll look like my twin brother that got braces. Yeah, Amy, I never knew that people wore their wedding bands on the other hand either until I moved to Europe and got married. Actually, um, I don't know if you've seen it, Amy, but I have the video of me proposing to my wife, and when I pull the ring out to put it on her hand, she just says, "I don't know which hand to put it on." Because I think it was a conversation that we had um, previously before I proposed uh, about which hand to put it on and like what it meant or something like that. Um, but yeah, so nobody really knows. It's not really something that you think about, you know, which hand you put your wedding band on. So it never comes up in a conversation with somebody from Europe. It's like, oh, by the way, which hand do you put your wedding band on? Yeah, teeth can be really intimidating to do. They can be tough for sure. I think it's probably harder to color the teeth than it is to draw them. Um, I mean, if you're just doing line art like this, it doesn't really look that wonderful anyway. It's not really flattering. Line art is not flattering. Um, but when it comes to actually coloring the teeth, you know, we have like this fear of applying the actual color because no matter how white your teeth are, I feel like my teeth are pretty white. Like I'm pretty satisfied with my smile, um, and I think my teeth appear to be pretty white. But when I color it, like obviously I'm gonna have to use yellow, like because in the photograph it's yellow. So I guess I'm done. So let me just peel this off and reveal the nice clean line art on my good paper. I'm going to peel it off slowly just in case if there's anything that I might have missed or overlooked. I think it's pretty good. Now I'll do this side. It's a benefit of having it taped down is that you can lift one corner at a time, and as long as you don't completely untape it, it will go right back to where you had it. I think I'm safe. I think I'm good to go here. Yeah. All right, so there we have the line art, and I usually just get rid of this. Usually just ball it up and throw it away. So now I have my nice clean line art, and tomorrow I will start coloring in the background. So anyways, that's actually going to be it for today. So thank you guys so much for coming by and hanging out with me. I hope you had some fun. I certainly did. Love the conversations, love the questions and everything. Really appreciate it. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I'm wearing one of my new shirts. I love slugs. I have shirts and stuff. I have the link in the description if you want to buy a shirt. It helps support what I do. And of course, if you want to learn from me personally, I just had a spot open up over on Patreon for a new student. So there is one student spot available. And then, of course, tomorrow I will be continuing on my ballerina colored pencil project on Patreon. So make sure you go over there. And also, don't miss this month's issue of Colored Pencil magazine, because I am in that, and I did a tutorial yesterday that is also in the magazine. So yeah, all of that. Anyways, I'll see you all tomorrow. Have a lovely rest of your day and take care. Peace.